Hi guys, welcome to episode 9 for our Losi DBXL workshop series, and we are going to look at how you remove the engine. It's actually quite straightforward, but something you may want to do from time to time. You may want to replace the engine completely, you may want to take it out to clean it, service it, changing things like the clutch shoes and that. You really need to remove the engine, so we'll show you how to do that. But we do have to remove the body shell and cage. Not a particularly difficult task with this car. The 12 retaining clips, which I've already taken off, pull them off, and then we can take the cage and frame off. We've removed the body shell and cage, and you may want to remove your engine. It's very difficult to do much maintenance on the engine, particularly things like the clutch, which is down there in the depths, and things like that, without removing your engine. So I'll show you how to do it. It's actually quite straightforward. There's only 4 bolts to hold the engine in, and what I tend to do, I tend to take the fuel tank out as well, so then you haven't got to worry about pulling off any of these lines. I mean, they do come off relatively easy, but it gives you a good chance to be able to give the car a good clean. Plus there's no chance then of getting any dirt or grit. Yes, I know you can seal them off and cap them off, but there's no chance of getting any dirt or grit in the engine or the fuel tank. So we'll show you how to do that. To remove the engine, I have risked putting the car on its side. You do find if you put cars on their side, or particularly upside down when they're petrol cars, however good your fuel tank is, it will leak. So I don't like doing that for too long, but I'll show you. Basically, we've got these 4 bolts here to remove for the engine to come out, and you'll see they're slightly elongated, which gives you the ability to obviously move the motor a little bit to be able to mesh the engine. And we'll come to showing how to mesh the engine, or mesh the gear with the engine and the spur when we put the engine back in. So we removed bolts from the engine. We removed the 3 bolts there, and one there and one on the other side of the steering post for the fuel tank. Also on this one, because we've got a tuned pipe, we've got two and also, as we've got a tuned pipe, we've got 2 additional screw holes for a bracket here for the pipe, so we had to remove that as well. But now with them all moved, we also removed the connection for the throttle. There's the throttle. Just put the little collar on there so we don't lose it. And now the engine, complete with the tank, basically comes out. So here is the engine out of the car, fuel tank, pinion gear under there, underneath the air filter. If you needed to change that, obviously you could do that now, but obviously I think you can get to that just removing the tank. You don't have to remove the whole engine, but it's only 4 bolts to remove the engine. Obviously your clutch assembly's in there, so you can get to that. And also you've got plenty of access now to get to things on the car, such as doing the diffs and things like that, which, or certainly the centre diff anyway. Look at those, have a look at your brake pads, brake discs, and get to them all nice and easily now. And again, to put it back in, it's just the reverse of what we're doing. We'll put that back in. I'll put it all back in off camera because it's a bit difficult holding the camera or getting some decent shots, and I'll then just show you how we mesh, or what sort of mesh you should be looking for on there, because that's the crucial part. If you have it too tight, it will just foul up and wear and overheat because it will just be too tight. If you have it too loose, then you're likely to damage the gears. Okay, so we have the engine back in the car. We've connected up the throttle linkage up there. Make sure that's nice and free. Don't want that too tight on there. It needs to be nice, easy to move. Now I've meshed up the motor. Don't know if you can see, it's actually set too tight. Basically that's really tight on there. You can't even move that spur. It's tight. It is far too tight. Now meshing these is a bit tricky. There are ways of meshing. You can put a bit of paper through there and check it like that. You can put a bigger pinion on and mesh that tight and then put one tooth down, but it doesn't really work with these because A, you can't get to them, and because it's quite a coarse pitch, it's not a method I recommend. So I just do it by feel. You say that's, I mean, I can't even turn the wheels. They don't turn, so that's far too tight. So I will just slacken that off a little bit and then show you what the right mesh looks like. So I don't know if you can see, we just slacken off just a fraction. Now that turns so easily. That's just the way it should be. And if I put the camera down, see the wheels turn, whereas before they wouldn't turn. So that is perfect mesh. And what you need to do make sure when your whole motor is completely tight that it's still the right mesh, because when you tighten them up it can move a little bit and it tighten or loosen. So that's a good mesh. So all we need to do now is put the body shell and cage back on, and then just to make sure it works okay. So our lovely 23cc two-stroke engine's back in the car. Body shell cage is back on and it's ready to go, and we'll have a test. So thanks for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe on the video, and we'll be back soon. Thank you very much.